Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining tonight for our Dynamite sublimation demo. So I'm joined here with Mel, and we're going to take you through just a whole bunch of different substrates. We've got a lot of things to talk about, but as always, we want your questions. Make sure you hit us with those questions. That helps make this interactive, and we can see what we can answer for you during this time. So everybody should see the PowerPoint right now. We're going to go through some polls. We're going to do some housekeeping, all that good stuff while we do that. So we've got some folks here in the background answering questions. George is here directing traffic as normal.
Actually, I'm just kind of walking around in circles.
He looks lost right now. Oh boy, we're off to a good one. No kidding. So we'll go ahead and we're going to get started. Okay, first off, getting familiar with the interface. We always have folks that have questions on this. First off, you can't hear, see, or something's going on weird with audio. Try closing down, opening back up, but just right there you can see the chat screen asking questions. If your computer audio is not working, when in doubt, just call in for your audio that way. Also, if you're on a cell phone or a tablet, I believe it's swiping. Go ahead, George, you always get me on this.
Yeah, I know, we always forget too. So if you're on a tablet or a mobile device, if we go to two screens like we have now, just swipe up and down, I believe will get you between the two different cameras. We will have a close-up when Steve's doing a demo here in a little bit. So yep. Just make sure you do that if you're on a tablet or a phone.
Perfect. All right. So George will hit the next slide here. Okay, we're going to run some polls here. This just helps us understand who's in our audience right now, where you're at in your sublimation journey. And we're going to go ahead. We got five questions.
I don't know, however many you wrote.
Okay. So this first one in here is, did you purchase products to go alongside the demo tonight? Just simple yes or no. So if you guys could hit that, your participation is greatly appreciated. And you guys are really hitting that quick here.
Just a heads up, Steve wanted to remind folks, this was a record registration for us. We've had over 600 registrations tonight. So we're going to try to get to as many questions as possible. Steve has said he will be here through what, midnight?
Yeah, I'll stay here all night answering questions.
Perfect.
I got nothing to do.
There you go.
All right, so 90% of you did not get the products with this. That's okay, but maybe after you see them, you'll like it, or maybe you're just here to learn a little bit about how sublimation works. So we're gonna run the next one. So George closed that one. And here, because we got such a great turnout of registers, so we want to see, do evenings webinars work better for your schedule? So just hitting that, holy cow, that is one side.
That was fast.
Yeah. So we know everybody has jobs. Okay, that's great. So, all right, so we're good there, I'd say, about 87% of you. Okay, perfect. We'll try to do that more. Okay, perfect. All right, great.
That's awesome.
Now I'm just going to get into, because it wouldn't be a webinar without talking a little bit about equipment that goes along to be able to produce these great sublimatable items and how that works. So are you new to sublimation? So that's what I'm looking here to see where you're at in your journey there.
I have to say something here, Steve. That typo is not me.
Yeah, I see that there. We'll blame that on Madeline.
We'll blame that on the need. This is after hours for us. Yes. People need to know that. So what happens here?
Okay, it stays here. All right. So yeah, 54% of you, 55% of you are new to sublimation.
Oh,
so
that's
great. Okay,
yeah,
awesome.
That's good.
And those of you who are here who are been using sublimation, you know, hopefully you pick up some stuff here too, or ask any questions. Okay. And next we got there. Perfect. Just last one. What brand, of those of you who are not new to sublimation, or maybe you're looking into sublimation and then you are leaning towards one or another? All right, guys, you guys are great. Everybody's doing such a great job answering questions tonight.
Awesome.
All right, perfect. So 53% of you have Epsons. That's interesting. 10% of you are none, but looking to purchase, and about 40% are getting close to or using Sawgrass. Okay, awesome. Well, let's jump into this. So as a lot of you folks know, we are a Sawgrass and Epson dealer. So we have a full line of the Sawgrass products from the SG500, which is the entry point on that. We'll do up to 8.5 by 14. We have the Sawgrass SG1000 with the bypass. We'll do up to 13 by 19, 11 by 17. That is a very popular model. And then on the Epson side, of course, we've got the ever popular F570 PE, the new professional edition. So we have all the equipment printer side of it and then the heat press side of it. So as your journey into sublimation, as we get into these blanks, just a reminder for those of you who are new, with sublimation, you have to have a sublimation printer with sublimation ink, and you have to have the appropriate blanks. And we get this question all the time. So these substrates, blanks, these terms are interchangeable, and we'll probably use both tonight. But you always need to make sure you have a sublimation ready blank, and that's what we do for you at Johnson Plastics Plus. We put the whole package together for you, so we have everything inclusive. We can help you with the heat press and the blanks, but the important thing about the blanks is all this stuff has to have a special coating on it to accept the sublimation ink with the polyester coating, or it has to be a polyester fabric to be able to stick to it. It doesn't work on cotton, so keep that in mind, okay? So we'll talk about that more as we go. Yeah. George?
Hey, two quick questions. Well, comment and a question. Steve, first comment is, just remember, if you are asking a question, please use the questions tab on the right-hand side. You can see there's a place there where you can type in your question. We've got some folks behind the scenes answering, and we'll answer some live. And actually, we have one real quick, and I'm kind of jumping ahead, but you know, our customers, eagle eye, they want to know what's in front of Mel. So can you that right there.
This is our new sublimatable welcome mat. So we are excited to show that and demo that with you tonight. So this we'll get to this. Be patient.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
We're excited to show you. This is actually my favorite piece tonight to show you. So
we'll jump into this.
Yeah,
let's start with the slate. So the photo slate coaster. We have a lot of slate products. Mel, you can talk to us about that. I'm gonna check time.
Yeah, definitely do. Yeah, so we have a slate coaster here, and I can't wait to have you see the end result of this, of how sharp it looks. Very elegant looking. You got the slate look, you got the rigid, you know, around the edges there. Very nice looking. This actually comes with some little feet, you want to call it, some little rubber feet here. And what you can do with those is apply them to the bottom after you sublimate on it. And that's going to help prevent from any scratches on any of your furniture or wherever you want to put these coasters. Actually, we have a full line of photo slates on our website at JPPlus.com. And if you haven't been on our website recently, we have made some great changes to that into our search engine. You're able to dig down a little bit further, a little bit easier to use. So make sure you check out our slate coasters and our photo slates as well. Multiple sizes, very sharp looking. Now this can be great gifts for, I mean, you could put a photo on there, you could put a favorite saying on there, and then along with the photo panels, obviously, you know, put photos on there. They just look really, really sharp. So I can't wait to show you that. These are actually sold on our website for about $3.60 each. Now, one thing I will talk about, so wanted to ask Steve a little bit. So we're going to sublimate on this, and we're going to use a Nomex felt pad.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's something that you're going to want to use when you're sublimating. Reason being, it's going to help make sure that you have all the edges are going to be able to be, how do you want to say that, Steve? Help.
Yeah, because it's a natural substrate, so it has like inconsistencies or like texture. So it's just making sure, one, you don't crack your slate, but also making sure it gets all the sublimation ink into all the sublimatable parts. How about that?
Yeah,
crevices.
Thank you, the crevices, I love that. Yeah, so the Nomex felt pad you can also find on our website. It's a 16 by 20. So those of you that have the, you know, 16 by 20 heat presses, it's really easy to use it on there. I have an item number here. It's FLT 121620, and that felt pad's about $53 for that. But you're going to be able to use it over and over again. So yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get started.
Yeah, so I was just setting the press here. Now on this slate, this is the Nomex felt pad. Let me show you. You also have the green sponge pad you can use, but if you're using the Nomex felt pad, you want to put this down first on the platen. I'm using the Stahl's Fusion IQ heat press here, so you can see I'm kind of off camera. That's okay though. So you can see here, you put that on the platen first. Okay, so that's going to go down. And then we're also going to use blowout paper. Jumping back here real quick, I've got my transfer here. So again, when you're doing sublimation, I know, sorry, George, I'm throwing you off. I'm just all over the place. Hey, you're supposed to read that mind. So when you print this, you keep in mind with sublimation, you always need to do your artwork in RGB.
Yes.
That might throw some of you, not CMYK. Yes, it is a CMYK printer, but the color when you're designing needs to be done in RGB. That's how you'll get the appropriate image or colors when you're doing your sublimation. Also, don't pay attention to how this looks when it prints out. It's always going to have a dull look. It's not going to look vibrant until you press it. So I've got my image on here, templates on our websites, Tech Tips will walk you through all of that. We've got that all listed depending on if you're using the green pad, the sponge pad, the felt pad, or anything else. That the Tech Tips are on there. The Nomax is the way to go if you're doing a lot of these. So I've got this sheet here. It's a little large. We're going to trim it down. But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and this has the polyester coating on it. You want to give this a cleaning. I'm just going to use my sleeve, you know, just real professional here. But you could use like isopropyl alcohol or something like that to clean that, to make sure you don't have any fingerprints on there. But so you would take this, and I'm going to have my artwork. I've already got it mirrored. So you always want to make sure when you're printing your artwork, we printed this from the SG-1000, that you mirror your artwork here so that it looks appropriate on the substrate, okay? So I'm going to put this on the substrate, and I'm just going to look at this before I tape it down. I'm going to trim a little bit off. And again, if you're doing a lot of these, you're going to want to maximize your space as far as on your transfer. For demo purposes, we're not trying to do that. So keep in mind, some of you might be thinking, what a waste. And yes, it is, but that's okay. So you want to leave some excess though, because you're going to want to tape this around the substrate. So I'm just using this here, and I'm just taping this one side, and I'm going to fold it here too, just so it's tight on each side, okay? And you don't need this much excess. You can do what you want with that, but this will give you a good idea. And I'm just going to use a piece of tape here. We've got the heat tape. This is the brown heat tape on the website. I love this stuff. It is my favorite of the tape. So I've got this all in here like this and taped up here. And again, I could trim some more of this off the side if I wanted to. No big deal.
Question.
Steve, I got a question. Somebody is asking what kind of paper you're using. I don't know if you said it
I
there
was
or not.
just going to talk about that.
See, that's why we have Mel to keep seeing the chat.
So we have the Johnson Plastics Plus sublimation paper. We have multiple different sizes for you. If you start out, even the 8.5 by 11, that is about $17 for a pack of 100. So they all come in a pack of 100. So if you think about a little bit, if you can get several prints on that, 17 cents a sheet. So that can tell you a little bit about how much you're spending on your prints to be included in that. But the Johnson Plastics Plus paper, you can find it on our website, multiple sizes, packs of 100.
Perfect. So let's talk about this press now and how we're going to do this. This is a Fusion IQ by Stahls. This is one of the most popular presses we sell. This is a good American-made press. We carry Insta, Geonite, Hicks, and the Stahls products. You need a good quality press. For sublimation, am 110% on board with a swing away press. I don't recommend a clamshell press. That's Steve's preference. I see it all the time though on the internet, folks using clamshell. I just know with some substrates like tile and slates, you're more prone to cracking because it comes down first in the back and then on the front. So swing away comes down evenly on this. Now the difference, I get asked all the time, what's the difference between this press at $2,500 and some change versus your $200 on Amazon? Everything. It's like comparing a Ferrari to a Ford Pinto. I mean, quality of build is everything. And what you see with those presses from Amazon and some of the other suppliers out there that are inexpensive, they'll work great for a little while, but then you start noticing you're wasting substrates, and they're not cheap. And so it's because you're not getting even heat, or consistent heat, I should say, and then it's not getting even pressure on your substrates. That is so key. And if those things are off, you might not know that. It might say, hey, it's 390, but really it's 500 and it's baking it, or it's not even close, and it's telling you two different things. So get yourself a quality heat press. I know it's an expensive investment by the time you buy your printer and all these other things, but if you're in this to make money, you've got to have good equipment. And that's what we're here to guide you on, okay? So I've got this set at 390. We're going to do this for 6 minutes. So I'm going to have a lot of dead air to talk with you about, but I've got this set up here. I think 360 seconds is 6 minutes, if my math is right. And so with this, we're going to go face down. So transfer side face down, okay? So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over top of it with blowout paper. We sell this on our website by 500 sheet packs. A lot of folks will use parchment paper or other things, but if you just want to get it and not have to worry about making your own, this is 16 by 20. That is really the standard size press you should be starting out with. We do have some smaller ones. If you're doing like a 500, we have a press, the DK14S, which is a little bit smaller, which matches well the substrate. But if you're using the SG1000 or the Epson F570, this size press is going to accommodate just about anything you're doing. So I'm going to put this on here. I've already adjusted my pressure. You always want to test your pressure, and I'm going to have to do that in between substrates to make sure we've got that right, okay? And that's done just by feel. Someone says, well, what's medium pressure? What's heavy pressure? Once you get used to your press and you're using it, you're going to learn that, but it's somewhat subjective unless you're using an air-assisted press, okay? So I'll come in here. I've got this already adjusted. I'm going to, just for good measures, tighten it a little more. We'll see. And then I'm going to come down on this, and we're going to start the sublimation process, and we're good right in there, okay? So while that's cooking, we're going to go talk a little bit about some other things we've got here. What are we doing next? We've got the wine tumbler. Do you want to talk about that for a little bit? Yeah, the different options we have.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And George, if you have questions, interject too, so we can fill some of that time.
Myself personally, or people have questions?
We'll take anything.
I always have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, one thing you mentioned though, the blowout paper comes in like a pack of 500. So something to mention about that too, you are able to continue to use that over if you don't have any overflow of the inks. So just something to keep in mind too. You know, sometimes, you know, we are, if there's no ink on it, you're going to be able to use it over again. So, and you can tell when it starts getting brittle. So we got that blowout paper, and now we're going to talk about the wine tumblers. So we have a 12-ounce stemless wine tumbler. These are double wall insulated, and they do have a really nice lid on it. It's kind of hard to get off, so it's a really good seal for this. It actually comes in about 5 different colors, and you can actually see it right here. So we have the white, we have the light blue, we have the rose red, and we have the stainless steel, and we actually have a red one as well too on our website. So these are about $11.78 each, or you can buy them in a pack of like a case of 50 as well. So one thing to note I really like about this is it comes with an actual box. So this is really great for when you want to, you know, gift give, or even for your customers to be able to have that extra unique step to be able to put it in a box for them and ship it out.
Hey, Steve, we had a real quick question on the slate that you're pressing.
Yes.
Why does it face down on the slate?
It's a good question. So with the Nomax pad, that's, if you look at the text tips, that's just how it works. You could probably get away with doing it face up, but with this, because we want that Nomax pad on this case to get into all the crevices, I guess would be the best way to explain it, of the slate, because it's not a flat surface. They have, the way the coating is on it, there's areas that would be blank. So with the green pad that you have, we sell on our website, that would be face up and then it going face up that way, okay? But with the Nomax pad, it's face down. It's just through all the testing that we've done with the Nomax pad, you want to go face down, and if you're using like the green pad, you're going to want to go face up with the pad on top of it, okay? And then blowout paper on the bottom to protect the bottom plat, okay? So what do we got left? We've got about 193 seconds from there.
So on these tumblers as well, you can use the convection oven, or you can also put them in the mug press, which Steve's going to demo it in the mug press today. And then we also sell the wraps for these. We sell sleeves, basically.
Yeah, shrink wrap sleeve.
Yeah.
That's going to be able to get a full design on there, a lot larger. I have one over there I sublimated earlier, in that we got a pretty good sized design. But again, if you're not using a shrink wrap sleeve and a convection oven, you're only going to have this space right here. So I'll talk about how I have this set up. And again, you might be doing these today and having your own method that works for you. This is just something I do. So.
Right.
Question on the press here, Steve. Can you use a Teflon sheet instead of blowout paper?
Yeah, you could use a Teflon sheet over top if you want. I don't think there'd be a problem with that. You know, usually when I'm doing sublimation on most items, I have a Teflon sheet on the bottom of the pad, and we'll put one on there when we go to do the other items on the heat press, like the mats or the towel and the other items. So yeah, Teflon could go over top of it. Just make sure you clean that too. So after a certain amount of uses, get that excess ink off, because sometimes if you don't, on the backside of your other substrates, or if you put a shirt on there and you haven't cleaned that, you'll get some of that residue of ink on there. So blowout paper is nice because you can just throw it away. Your Teflon sheet is great, but you got to clean it all the time. So typically the stuff on the top here is going to be dirtier because the ink off gases up, and that sublimation, the blowout paper, grabs that ink as it off gases up here, so it doesn't get the bottom or the top platen as dirty. And again, you still want to clean that over time also. So let's check our time here, see how close we're getting. And the reason we're not doing the tumbler in a convection oven tonight is because it would take 6-7 minutes, and it's already hard enough to dribble 6 or 7 minutes that way. Look at me, I'm right on top of the camera here. But we've got just about a minute here left on that before we take it out. This slate is hot. Now keep in mind, 390, 6 minutes, that thing's gonna be cooking. Don't grab that without having a heat glove. We have some options on our website, but there's a lot of good choices out there for heat gloves, and you want to use one of those. Okay, just about a minute left on those. So again, tech tips are always on the website for the substrates. If you have questions, you can always message us and we can answer those. Any questions, George, I can answer while I've got this 43 seconds to kill?
No, just a friendly reminder to folks, if you are watching on a mobile device, when we're jumping back and forth between the cameras, try that swiping up and swiping down. That'll flip between the two cameras. So if you're just hearing Steve, but not seeing Steve, try swipe, see what happens.
All right, so about 25 seconds left on this.
The funny thing is most people don't want to see or hear Steve, so.
Oh man, this is a tough crowd.
Oh, he's just making
Holy
fun
cow.
of the poor guy.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so we're almost there. 10 seconds left on this. And again, I just have one on here, but on a 16 by 20 heat press, you're going to be able to fit multiple on there, okay? So if you're doing a lot of these, you can get on there and you can set it up so you're doing production-wise quite a few of these. All
Steve,
right.
why you pull that off? Can you again show you how you have that down?
Yes, so I have substrate down, okay, substrate print side down. I have my back side up. So Nomex pad, slate tile with the print side down, blowout paper over top of it, okay? So I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna peel this off, okay? Now this thing is hot. Okay, so I'm gonna hold this here quickly, get this up here. Which camera am I at?
There you go.
So here you go. That's what the finished product's gonna look like. Full of color, bright, glossy, just looks amazing on that. So again, all the white area of the slate is sublimated now. That's what that Nomex pad does, pushes that transfer into those areas and really hugs it in there, okay? So again, simple, easy. I mean, this is not hard stuff. Yeah, there's a learning curve with everything, but once you get it done, you're be able to produce custom items like this that are one-off that have a great opportunity for you to make money and pay off your equipment. I'm going to set that over here, let that cool down. All right. Any questions about that, George, that have popped up?
Explain what that Nomex pad is again, Steve.
So the Nomex pad is on the website, and if you type that in on the website, Nomex pad, that'll come up. Probably, I think it's Nomax, something like that. On the EX, thank you, EX on the website. So that again, you're going to use that with certain substrates like the slate products for sublimation, because again, that goes in the bottom platen, that gets the transfer into, it presses the transfer up into the slate, helps it from not cracking. So it's definitely a necessary. We also have the green foam pad on the website too for that, so a couple options. All right. And again, this is just a felt pad here, Nomex felt pad. It's 16 by 20, so right on the website.
Thank you.
And if we need to, we can always bring that up so you guys can see that if we have a lot of questions about that. Okay, all right, so next, what do we got next? I already, the tumbler, okay. Let me set this down.
Yes.
Okay, so with this, I'm using our JP450, which is our multi-function, multi-attachment heat press. It's gonna come with 4 attachments. You'll be able to do your 15-ounce mugs, your 11-ounce mugs, and then it comes with the tapered attachments for doing like the latte. latte style mugs that you can fit in here. But how I'm using that tonight is I am using that, but this is tapered. So I have a wider bottom here. I can't fit this whole thing into the mug press, okay? So what I'm doing is I'm focusing on sublimating this top half right here, okay? This flat surface. So I've cut down my transfer really to size on this to get in here. And so I'm gonna match that up here. I'm gonna center this on here. All right, and so I'm gonna hold that tight. Again, gonna go back to my tape. And I'm going to tape this up nice and good here.
Hey, Mel, somebody hopped in a little bit late to the webinar, so they didn't see you talking about the tumblers earlier.
Yes.
But they were asking about a lid on that. Does it come, what kind of lid does it come with?
Yes, it comes with a lid. It doesn't have like the slide slot, but it does come with a lid. It's has a really nice silicone rib. Yeah, it fits in there really well. It's not going to fall.
Yeah, you won't spill your drink out of that unless you're stumbling.
Right.
But no, so here we go. We got this taped up here, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I've got this set to 360 degrees, 60 seconds. Okay, you don't have to have super heavy pressure. You don't want super heavy pressure because these things will clamp down on the product and you'll start to bend the top or the thinner part here, as you can see. So you want to make sure you don't need too much pressure with this. So I'll go ahead, I'm going to put this face down in the heating element, okay? So make sure you've got it in there. I've already got this adjusted to the right temperature. So I'm going to come in and I've got it in there. And then I'm just going to hit the start button here so that it goes to 60 seconds, okay? And so I've adjusted that. Go ahead, Mel.
Well, I was just going to say, while our mug press, the JP450, we also have some attachments that you can purchase. We have the shot glass attachment, and we also have the 20-ounce skinny tumbler attachment. So now those don't come with it, but you can buy it separately. But you do get the 4 attachments, like you said. You got the latte mugs, the water bottles. So it's going to pretty much virtually do almost any type of cup that you would need. So
yeah, so this is a very multi-function mug press. It's going to cover so much. And again, if you want to do convection oven, you can do that for production purposes, but this is a great option. About 10 seconds left on this. We sell a boatload of these. It's a great product. All right, we're getting close. And this is easy to change the different attachments. You just unscrew these 4 screws, swap it out, plug it in over here. And so I'm going to shut that off. It beeps at you so you don't forget it. And then I've got it here, and I'm going to attempt to take this off without burning myself right now.
Steve, let's not have a repeat of the tumbler incident of 19, okay?
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of folks too, keep in mind, if you keep a bucket of water at room temperature near you when you're doing your drinkware, room temperature, you can take it right into that and dip it so that it instantly cools it. If it's cold, like ice cold, it can crack it, but keep in mind you can do that. So I've got it here. And look at this. You guys are going to laugh at this. This looks great, but I put it on here crooked. So if I worked for you, you may fire me.
That's okay.
So
you did one. Show them the one you did before. That one's good.
Okay. Yeah. But you can see this is crooked here. But hey, that's okay. You can see how good that looks. But that might be appropriate for this type of thing if you're drinking anyway. And then here's the one that's what it should look like straight if I was paying attention. So simple. 60 seconds, 360 degrees. And again, you've got a customized drinkware product here, okay? So I'll put that back over here. Any questions about that, George, that's popped up?
Oh, somebody asked which attachment that was that you used for the...
That's the 20-ounce, the largest latte attachment that comes with it, okay? So that's in the box with it.
And there are other attachments that come with...
Oh, yeah, you have four attachments.
Okay.
So that'll cover a wide variety, but hey, listen, everybody, everybody's doing skinny tumblers. Make sure you pick that up with it too.
Oh, definitely.
That's a must. It's going to be,
yeah, the skinny tumblers are a big seller right now. So, and we're hoping to have the 30-ounce attachment down the road here as well. So keep an eye out for that coming up. So, yeah.
Absolutely. What do we got up next?
So this is the fun part. I get to talk to you about our new sublimatable mat. So it is an 18 by 20. I love it because on the back side of it, it does have the no slide black rubber piece there. So, and if you look at it, it's kind of got like a grayish kind of taupe color to it. Very nice. It's an 18 by 30 size. So we're gonna do a sample here for you. I'm gonna sublimate this and show you how, me who doesn't sublimate very often, I'm gonna show you how to do this. So if I can do it, you can do it.
Folks, that's not a joke.
Yeah, this is no joke. And also, if you, some of you want to know, like on the inner piece right here, that size is 24¼ by 12½. Now we printed our paper. If you go to our tech docs and downloads on our website, and like Steve said, on all of our products, we have tech docs and downloads for you to be able to utilize. You just got to keep in mind that those are kind of a starting point because we use a facility here that it's, you know, it's humidity controlled. So it just may be something you may have to mess around with a little bit. So we got our mat and we printed our sublimation paper to be a little bit wider and longer than this mat. And the reason why we did that is because we want to be able to secure that down really well on the back side. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. Transfer, yes. I need a transfer to do that. All right, thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
So I am going to, you see my design. So I'm going to go ahead and center that the way I want. And I'm not actually centering it on the paper, but centering it on the mat where I want to have it.
And actually, before you do that,
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's adjust this. This is a good point because
yes.
Before you tape, I want to check pressure on this
for
the heat press because this is a medium pressure. So I'm going to put this on the heat press. I've got my Teflon sheet down. I'm just going to sit this on here and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make sure I test my pressure on this.
Yeah, so that's going to be at 390 degrees for 55 seconds on medium pressure. And thanks for doing that, Steve.
Yeah. And again, medium pressure is just kind of your feel for it. These all have bar pressure, so like 5 bar pressure, they'll call it, that you'll see here will be a target. You can set here on this press on different paper sizes what you need to set this as far as like your target bar pressure so you get an idea. And so this is going to be 55 seconds, and I'm just adjusting this here. George, you got questions?
Hi, George, Grace.
Oh, Grace.
Real quick, we have a quick question. There's some confusion if the mug press is separate to the heat press that you're using, or if you have to buy them together.
Well, if you want to do drinkware, it is separate. All this is separate, but we have some bundles on our website. Let me come in the camera. No one can see. Okay. So it is all separate. But we have some bundles on our website with Sublimation. If you give us a call, give myself a call, we can help you put together a package for you with a heat press and a mug press, but it is separate because some folks say, hey, I'm not going to be doing drinkware. I've got an idea, something I'm doing, and I just don't need that right now. Or you've already got a heat press, a 16 by 20, and you just need the drinkware press. So it is separate. It's on the website. We can help you with it if you have questions.
Okay, so I'm taping this here. And one thing to note too, I think a lot of times when we talked about tape, you don't use a whole lot of it, you don't need it. But for this situation, I'm going to use a little bit more tape to make it sure it's sticking securely down to the back of the mat. So I folded over the one side and I'm going to tape the one side here. And once I get this one side securely taped, I'm going to flip it over and tape the other side before we press it. So. Yeah, so this print obviously came from our Epson F570 because it's a little bit of a larger print.
And keep in mind, the F570 is a 24-inch printer. So it has a 24-inch roll. Now, it's not a full bleed to 24 inches, but it's a 24-inch roll, a 17-inch roll. Plus, it can take your cut sheet. So what I mean by that is 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, 11 by 17. The F570 is one of the best bangs for your buck out there, especially if maybe you've been in sublimation for a little while or you want to do larger substrates like this. It's going to give you the ability because the Sawgrass SG1000 is only able to do up to 13 by 19. So yes, keep that in mind.
And so I'm struggling a little bit here, so I'm just going to keep it real.
Do you need me to help you?
Well, I'm not sticking the way I wanted because I didn't have it folded over.
That's okay. I'll hold it and you tape it.
But now I got to get it even again, so.
It's all right.
So Steve, while you guys are taping that down, we did have another question again, and it was a good question, and I think you addressed it earlier, but how do you determine what medium pressure is?
Again, so what I do is I go to my settings and I'll put in there on this one, I can put a target pressure on that. So I can say I want it to be a 5 bar pressure. And then it has settings within there when you push down the pressure, what it's registering at by a target. So if you want 5, it's going to tell you by the time you adjust this and you come down on it, that yes, that's close to what you want. It's not an exact science. So, but it gives you at least some idea of what you're needing to do.
So when you're pressing down, Steve, it's really kind of a feel thing too, correct? Like,
Yes, it really is a feel thing.
you should be able to have a little bit of give when you're pressing down, but it shouldn't be super hard. That would be a heavy pressure if you're really having to
That's
wrench
correct.
down.
I'm still taping away. Hey, what's up?
So one of the things that I wanted to mention too, Steve, while Mel's taping this down, is that if folks want to rewatch this webinar, we do have our page on our website at jpplus.com/webinars. And we also have a bunch of videos on our YouTube channel and also on our website. So if you go to jpplus.com/videos or to YouTube and look for Johnson Plastics Plus, you'll see Steve on a lot of those. You'll see Mel. We've got a bunch of folks who've done how-to videos and other product overview videos. So make sure you check those out. As you're learning sublimation, it's a great resource for you.
Perfect. All right, now that we've got enough tape on here to,
Okay, thanks
I don't
Steve
know
for the
what.
tape. I appreciate it.
all right.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do, we're going to go over to the heat press and we're going to press this.
Now is that face up or face down?
It's going to be face up.
Okay.
Well, so it looks like Steve went ahead and put a Teflon sheet there instead of the blowout paper.
So again, this mat is going to be larger than the actual size of the template or the actual size of the product, but we've got our image on there centered so that it'll fit the 16 by 20. If you have a 20 by 25 press, you know, you may be able to get some of this additional space out here. But we're just showing you with like a basic 16 by 20 press.
Yeah, so I'm trying to line up to make sure that we have the design in the area where we're going to press.
I think they look good. I mean,
all
from
right.
what I can see.
Okay.
All
We're gonna
right.
give it a whirl here.
So we've got this set at 55 seconds. Again, I'm just trying to make sure I got this centered. Is the back side on there? Just looking here, come forward a little bit. All right. A little more
Do we need
forward.
to put some blowout paper on the top or?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna put this in here and then I'm gonna come down on this. And again, I've got this here at a medium pressure. It's a little high, it's at 7. So 5 to 7 would be a medium pressure, like 10 bar or higher is a high pressure. So we've got 55 seconds on that and we're gonna let
So
that
these mats are like $16.99 each. So it's a really good price. And I don't know, these are really, I think these are gonna be really hot sellers. I personally rotate my welcome mats at home.
Do you
I have
really?
6 of them.
Rotate?
I rotate them. I have one for
Okay.
every holiday.
Hey, maybe I should be doing it. I buy one until it falls apart.
Oh no, I have to change my front
Yeah,
porch
so
up
please
a little
buy
bit.
6 of these and rotate them.
Well, I mean, you
The
can
more the merrier.
promote for each holiday, and I just
Well, that's
got
a good idea.
I got to
Oh, for
test and
sure.
make one. Welcome to Momo and Pappy's house. So I mean, really fun. So yeah.
Hey, Steve or Mel, real quick.
Yeah.
What are the settings for the mat that you're using right now?
Okay, so the settings are 390 degrees for 55 seconds at medium pressure. I think Steve said he did a little bit longer there on the pressure, a little bit.
Oh yeah, this looks good.
Oh, yay.
I'm just ripping this
Well,
apart from Christmas
yeah.
morning.
It looks like
I was a little high, but that's okay.
it's a little
So
high. It looks good though.
our tape shifted on us, but you know, you can get that tighter, but it's still, you can, if you want, hold that up.
Yeah,
If
I
it's too hot,
do.
Don't burn yourself.
No, it's not
Okay.
too hot. And one thing I do kind of want to mention, Steve, you helped out by, you used some different tape because usually we use that brown thermal tape.
Yeah, we have some other tape options on there. I just
Yeah.
used some of our other clear tape. It's a little
bit
thinner.
thicker. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's just, it had a little different because that rubber on the back there.
yeah.
So just depending on how you want to do, and if you're not doing, you know, the side, you try to want to cover that, but you can just get it over the top. If you want, come closer to the camera.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can see that.
Yeah. So it's not perfect, but hey. How's this?
There you go.
Awesome.
I keep forgetting I'm not on camera. I'm just a voice over here. Oh, man. Everybody keeps looking at me, pointing me to get back to camera. I'm like, I am.
It looked like your hand was flying out the car window and you're driving down the highway. You know.
All right, so that's our sublimatable mat. So
Yeah.
I think
It
you
looks
guys
good.
really,
Yeah.
I think the bright and vibrant for really,
Yeah, perfect. Okay, what do we
Right.
got up next? We got the towel. You want
yes.
to talk to us about this towel?
Yeah, so we have a waffle towel. These are so popular. They're 16 by 20. You can use these kitchen, bathroom. You can use them anywhere you want to customize a towel. And who doesn't like tea towels? Do we have another
Yeah,
sample?
let me show you this mat. What we
Oh,
did
yeah.
is, here's one we did earlier, and we even got up into that other part of the mat, so that is sublimatable too. So keep in mind, when you don't shift it too high, I'm kidding. That's what it looks like. Okay, and you can even do this side here too. All right, sorry, go ahead, Mel.
Yes, no, that's great. Okay, so we do have this waffle towel. It's the 16 by 24 waffle towel. It's really soft feeling, really like it. Hey, you know what I just thought of? I forgot to tell you guys to lint roll your mat before you press.
Oh,
Just a
yes.
thought. Just wanted to let you know that. I got to thinking about that.
The
because-
reason we do that, let me explain,
Yes.
because these will have lint in them. And with the sublimation, we call them blue meanies, especially on the white. It'll
Yes.
be harder to notice in that because of the
Mhm.
color. But anything fabric like this, you want to lint roll and get that off because that'll collect ink and then it'll just have these weird flecks of this odd like blue color within on the substrate. So shirts, anything fabric, lint roll. Okay, we've got that here.
Yes, so we'll have to use that for the waffle towel tool too as well. But these are sold for $3.06 each, I believe, and then you need to purchase them in increments of 10. So great quality kitchen, bathroom, however you want to decorate them. I know one of our customers that I follow on Instagram has her own designs, beach themes, and she puts on here, and I absolutely love them.
So what we're going to do with this, we're going to press this twice actually.
Oh.
So I'm going to show you here how to do this. So we're going to have the bottom part first, and I'm going to get this on here. So let me get this out, and I'm laying this out here. So I'm just, I got too much on the table. This is, every time I think I got enough room, I don't have enough room. All right, so the way you do this is creating empty space, negative space. If you're doing this, makes it easier as far as matching that back up. It's a little more forgiving for you. So I'm just making sure you come over here a little bit more. Okay, and so I've got that. All right, so I've got this on here. I'm going to put a couple pieces of tape on here. And first off, see, I just told you guys.
To lint roll it.
So we're going to run that over top.
Something to note too, make sure when you sell these to your customers, after you put that pretty design on it, that you're letting them know to wash it in cool water and no bleach. So you want them to have their product to last quite a while. So.
I'm going to do something else here too. I'm going to check my pressure. So again, just getting ahead of myself. We're going to adjust our pressure here on this towel. You're going to do a lighter pressure. You don't have to do anything crazy. So let's get this adjusted.
Yeah,
and
so
we're going to be doing the towel at 390 for 40 seconds. I like that. That feels good. All right. So put this back on here. All right. Questions, George?
Somebody was asking again with the, how do you determine whether you should use Teflon paper or blowout paper?
Your Teflon typically will always go on the bottom part of the substrate or the heat platen, and then the blowout paper goes over top of the substrate because the blowout paper is catching the off-gassing ink. Okay.
We also have, for those 16 by 20 heat presses, we have a Teflon wrap that just fits like a bed sheet on the bottom of the heat press. So that's something you might want to check out as well too. It's not going to move around. And again, like Steve said, though, you're going to have to keep an eye on that if you get, to keep it cleaned off with isopropyl alcohol, correct?
Yeah. Right.
Something you might want to do too, while he's taping that up, keep in mind that we do have a new rewards program. I was just thinking about that you guys might want to check that out. If you're not signed up for it on our website, it's jpplus.com/rewards. It's a perfect opportunity to earn points from the products that you've purchased. And you can use those points towards products. So you might as well take advantage of that. So make sure you sign up for that. It's all web-based. All right, so you're gonna.
So I'm gonna take
press
this, I'm gonna put this over on here. I'm gonna make sure that this goes to the back. Okay, I've got my excess hanging off here. All right, so I've got my design within my heat platen area. Okay, I'm gonna throw some blowout paper on here just as a little extra protective, because the platen, you want to protect the top platen. Okay, so again, I need to adjust this to 40 seconds. All right. So we're at 390. Okay, let me make that adjustment here real quick. All right. Oops. Okay. Okay. And so I've got this. Come down. There we go. And so this is at a 2-bar pressure here. So 2 to 3, 4 bar would be okay with that. All right. Any other questions we got popping up here while we wait?
I think we're good for the moment while we're having that pressed down. Oh wait, Gracie's got one.
We've had a few people ask if we carry beach or bath towels. And so just to answer that question, we do. Maybe Mel, you can speak a little bit more on that.
Yeah, the bath towels, they'll be a little bit larger. You can go to our website. We have beach towels as well. So those are going to be really popular. And think about, I like to use, just think about the gift options that you can have with those. Easter's coming up. Personalize a towel, bath towel for your grandkids or your kids. Yeah, those are pretty fun.
Okay. That's done. I'm gonna go ahead and peel this off. Okay, so then we're gonna do the second part of this. I'm gonna take this off. Okay. All right, let's throw this away. So now I'm gonna press the top part of it. Of course, my design's crooked again, all right? So don't judge. You get the point though.
So Steve, with that print, did we print that from the Epson F570?
We did. We printed this on the Epson F570. So here's the first part. Oh, where are we at? Okay. So here's the first part I've got. Here's my design. See that big empty space? Now I'm gonna come back for my second press here. Okay. And so what I've done in this design is I've used this negative space that we have the lines here. Let me go back to the right camera. We're gonna use that.
You seem to want to go there.
I don't know what's going on. All right. Okay, so we're gonna take this, now we're gonna come back over top of it. And I'm gonna get this lined up in here. And I'm eyeballing it, so.
I feel like after you do a few test runs and you'll have the groove and then, you'll be able to do it. And, we're having to adjust that heat press in between each one. So, when you're working on your project, you're probably focusing on one line of products at one time. So it'll make it a little bit quicker for you.
Now we're a little oversized on this and that's okay. So this is I'm gonna make an on the fly trim here. So that's okay. We're just gonna adjust this up. Okay. So we've got this a little too large, but that's all right. So this is how we're gonna do this, okay? All right, so that's how I know where I need to be. I'm flipping this over and I'm putting this back on here.
So something to keep in mind too, we talked about the consumables that we sell. We talked about the Johnson Plastics Plus cut sheet papers, which is great for the Sawgrass 100 or Sawgrass 500, Sawgrass 1000. Also on the Epson F570, you can use the 8.5 by 11 and the 8.5 by 14 with that Epson. And then also the Epson comes with the rolls, the 17-inch and the 24-inch by 100 foot. So we have all those on our website, and including the inks as well, the refillable inks. So.
Okay. Let's take this back over to the press. Now I'm going to let the rest of this hang off. Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring this back in. And we'll get this in here. Make sure I got that. Come in there.
So Steve's using the Stahl's Hotronics, but we offer quite a few different heat presses, different sizes at JPPlus.com. And we have another we have a US made one, a 16x20 Go9 press
Yep.
too.
All these are made in the US. Hicks, Insta, Fusion, the Fusion IQ, all made in the US. There's a huge difference, like I said earlier. About 10 more seconds left on this. And again, this might look a little different because we were a little large on the design, but that's okay. You'll get the idea of what you can do with this. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this over, take this off. Oh, and I was too light on my pressure here, but that's okay. So because I didn't stick it all the way in and readjust my pressure, I was too light on that. But that's okay, you're still gonna be able to see, but this is what happens. See, we all make mistakes. And you can see this here where it would come in and say hello. All right, and then it would be lined up in the negative space. I don't know, do we have one of these done that I can show? No, okay. All right. Okay, what else?
All right,
What's our
so
next
now
one?
we're gonna start, we have a unisub cardboard round. So we're gonna show you how you can make three-dimensional signages with these. We're gonna show you how nice and sharp this is gonna look. So these 12-inch rounds, it's made out of MDF, so it's a very durable material. This is a 1/4 inch thick. Now these are sold, I believe, by increments of 3 for about $6.75 each. Now again, all the tech docs and downloads are on our website for these. Try to think, just think about the opportunities for these. There's lots of people are making personalized signage. I mean, you can see one back here that we did. It says, "Welcome to our home." Very sharp looking. People are using them in their homes, on the walls, in the entryways. Wedding venues are using these as well. Something that's really neat too is we actually, on our tech docs and downloads, we give you instructions how to laser holes in this, and as well to do I believe it's to drill. So something to keep in mind. It will give you the directions for that as well. All right. So
Let's tape this one up,
yep.
Get our pressure right. And maybe Steve won't make any more mistakes. It wouldn't be a webinar.
Well, maybe Mel will make a mistake.
Listen, it wouldn't be a webinar unless we messed up one substrate. So again, what I should have done on that towel going back is I should have just fed more of it in because it was a little light on this pressure, but I thought I was okay. So again, you can feed that rest of that towel in. I just thought I'd let that side hang off, but feeding it in, it's not going to hurt anything. I thought I was okay on that. So when you're doing the towels or you're splitting up a design like that, just put the whole piece of there back inside of there, and you'll be fine. And if you're worried about it, cover it with a piece of blowout paper, and it would have been okay.
Hey Steve, real quick.
Yes.
On that rounds that you're putting in, do you need to pre-press that for moisture or anything?
Yeah, so if you have, like, especially on plaques, sublimatable plaques, you'll want to press that. You can just use a piece of blowout paper on it or a blank sublimation sheet and get out that excess moisture out of that, okay? So we're okay on this one, but you would want to do that on a new one, especially plaques. And if you're in the summertime because you're picking up more humidity, you will see steam rolling out of that wood. So keep that in mind.
Something else to keep in mind too is when you get those shipped, we do protect it with a coating, a film on top. So you will have to take that off before you sublimate.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to
which we already had done before.
Pressure on this one real quick, this smaller piece, just so I can check and see where we're at with that or next thing you know, we're going to have another towel incident here.
So you're just testing the pressure.
Yep, I'm just adjusting this to a medium pressure. I think we're okay there. Okay. Now back off of this a little bit because this larger one is a little bit thicker. Okay, so I'm going to go face up on this. We're doing 55 seconds on this.
390 degrees.
Yep, I just changed that. Bump that up. Okay, almost there. All right. Okay. I'm going to put this up here, put a piece of blowout paper on top of that. I'm going to come in over top. Back it off. Way off.
So Steve, we had someone come in a few minutes late and they were asking how the printing of the transfers worked. So I just wanted to jump in and let them know.
Yeah.
We did print all the artwork on a sublimation printer. So you can print it on an Epson or you can print it on a Sawgrass. And we do carry all of those printers. But that's how we did the transfers, and it gets activated in the heat press, and sublimation is extremely durable, which is really nice. So when you wash it, it won't fade and it will stay very, very vibrant.
Yes, great question.
Yeah, and too, we have quite a bit of different options on our website at jpplus.com. For those of you who don't already have sublimation, the Sawgrass 500 is, you got different packages that you can use. So you can check that out. We have packages where you can get like a smaller heat press and a mug press as well.
Okay.
We have one more question.
Yeah.
Is there a film on the round?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mentioned, yes, there's film on the round. We took the film off beforehand.
What?
Was that magic?
It was.
Did it come right off?
Yeah. I had a little too much pressure on that, but it's okay. Oh, this looks brilliant. All right.
That's so sharp looking.
It is. Okay, so let me show you guys this. This is so easy. Come into this camera. Okay, you guys see that?
Oh.
And again, come over here. See my direction. That'd be terrible on like Wheel of Fortune. So here you go. Here's this substrate. Okay, the hardboard here. This stuff looks great. So simple. And again, now what we're going to do is we're going to do this heart sheet. Did you talk about this already? Am I jumping ahead? You want to take it?
No,
Okay, go ahead.
You're fine. Okay, so we have a heart-shaped coaster. It's made out of the same Unisub hardwood material. This one does actually, though, have a cork backing to it. These are for about $1.58 each on our website. The coaster is 400 degrees for 65 seconds, and this is actually one going to be heavy pressure. So we're going to use this coaster along with that round, and we're going to make a 3-dimensional here, or at least a 2-dimensional on this one. So I'll go ahead and tape this up, and then Steve will press this. I don't even know if we need, well, maybe better put another one here. And again, this is the same thing. It will come with that little film because it protects it during shipping, and then you'll want to take that off before you press it.
Okay. So again, I'm going to go face up on this. Put my piece of blowout paper over top of it. Adjust my pressure a little more here. Make sure I've got that because it's a heavy pressure. Come down on way too light. Here. Okay, there we go.
Steve, can you remind us again of the settings for this, for the hardwood?
You're at, on this one, 390 to 400 degrees, 65 seconds, a heavier pressure. And honestly, it's close enough on these two, you could most likely do the same for both. All right.
So if you guys need ideas too for products, we do have a product guide on our website that you can take a look at as well.
Okay, we've got about 27 seconds left. Almost there. And then the last item we have, what is that? This is our
last item.
Yeah,
Yes.
we've gone through everything.
Yes.
Any questions? I've got 15 seconds to fill.
Steve, are you warm in that sweater tonight?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, yes. Standing next to this heat press at 400 degrees, I even turned on the air in here.
No joke. People concerned about you, Steve, right now.
You should be. Okay. All right, so we got that. It's done. It's ready to go. Peel this off. Oh yeah, this looks phenomenal. I love how this smells when you take this off the wood products. The sublimation smell.
Yeah, it does smell kind of good.
Yeah, don't burn yourself. That's hot.
That was a little hot.
Yeah. Mel just lost her fingertips, so don't
I
mind
did
her.
not. We're
Okay.
tough. We're good. Okay, so when this cools a little bit, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put some tape on the back of it, double-sided tape. So we're gonna make our sign. Huh?
We'll fan this for a second.
Okay,
Try to
yeah.
cool it off. The surface like this is nice, or something like a cool top, because you could take this, you don't want to rub the surface of the substrate, but it'll help cool it down quite a bit, and that holds its heat. So you can still put the tape on there just for yeah, it's still a little warm, so just, yeah, be careful.
It's good. All right. So we're doing this so we can add it to our round.
You want me to use the heat glove to put it on?
I wonder if it's too hot for the tape.
Yeah, it might be a little too hot.
Yeah, it's probably too hot.
That's
for
okay.
it.
You know
Yeah.
what? We'll slap this on here, give you an idea.
Yeah,
So,
we're gonna.
What tape is there?
It looks so. Look at that. So take it up there. It's really adorable. So just think outside the box when you're
So
making
obviously,
some of your products.
for time purposes, we're not
Yes.
like QVC, we don't have one prepared. But it's hot and you can see this, so.
Isn't that adorable?
Okay, so we just added that on there. And again, this gives it kind of a three-dimensional, you've got another piece there. So there you go. Pretty simple. All right, as we wrap up, any last minute questions? Anybody have that we want to go over, guys?
No, I think we're good. Friendly reminder to everyone who attended the webinar, you're going to get an email after the webinar. It'll have a link to this if you want to rewatch or you missed something or want to catch something. It'll also have a link to the design files that we're going to be sending you. So we're going to give you some free artwork to help you get started and get going on your sublimation journey. So some of the stuff you saw here tonight, it'll be a great opportunity for you to take that, customize it for your customers, and it's a compliment of our wonderful design team.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you everyone for attending. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions. We'd be glad to help you find substrates or equipment. And again, I'm Steve Staller with Johnson Plastics Plus. We have Mel and everybody here answering questions. We appreciate your time. Everybody have a great evening.
Have a good one. Thanks for joining.